we're going to talk about the organization that we work for, because we work for a nonprofit. I didn't hear anybody say that after graduating you want to go into social work, but non-for-profit places, organizations, a lot of times run because of the help of volunteers. So even if you're not going into social work, knowing, because there's always local nonprofits that need help, and so kind of understanding how they work and how volunteers benefit them can be helpful and can be good, so that moving in, especially if you're volunteering, like if you are wanting to get into a certain type of school and you say, oh, I volunteer with this nonprofit organization, like that can speak volumes to employers, to schools, to wherever.
Do I get money out of it? Do I get money out of it? I need a job.
No money on this one. So, is this a little?
Should be able to do it from there if you just click.
Okay. Woohoo! Okay. So, all of these people, I'm just gonna go through the different like roles that are our organization, so that you can kind of know, like, okay, if I was gonna work for a nonprofit, what kind of things could I do? So Jeff Wyke is our executive director. Our executive director, he is essentially the guy that all big decisions go through, and he either confirms like, yes, it's a go ahead, or he nixes it and he's like, no, that's not a good idea. So he has the big overall vision for our organization and what it's supposed to be doing, and it's his job to make sure that generally what we're doing is like taking us towards that goal. Brad, he's our director of outcomes and operations. So like IT, essentially, he does like different computer system stuff, but then also, since we work for an organization that involves people, we have to record everything, and that takes different like database type systems to record everything, and you have to decide which one you're gonna use, and you have to like customize it and cater it, and he does all of that kind of stuff. The next guy, Jake Johnson, director of development, essentially. Okay, so because we're a nonprofit, all of the money that we get to put on the programs that we do that we'll talk about here is from private donors or grants. And so we have to know people in order to ask them, hey, like, are you willing to give towards this organization and towards our cause? Because donors give out of free will, because either they really believe in the center, or they have a lot of money and they want to have it go somewhere helpful. Or with grants, certain like big corporations are required to give a certain amount of money charitably away every year, and so then these funds are developed, and like you can send in applications to get that money to go to your organization. That's like what a grant is essentially. And so Jake, he talks with people who are like, maybe I want to give money to the center, and let them know what we do, where their money would be going, essentially why they can, why they would feel good about donating to our organization and what we do. So he's very much so like a people person type of a role. And then Shauna, she is the director of middle school programs. So once you hear what Liam and I do, that's essentially what Shauna does too, but she's been doing it for longer, so she like oversees what Liam and I do, and we ask questions. Marin, she's the director of communications. So even for nonprofits, we need somebody who is good at making graphics, who does advertising, that making newsletters, so that the people who do give us money can like know what's going on, so that they can be updated on like, okay, what you're giving to is actually making a difference. And she puts together those kind of like visual things that aren't like, I'm gonna have a conversation with you. It's like, I'm gonna show you this virtual thing, I'm gonna send it to your email, and you're gonna be updated. And then Sarah, director of finances and human resources. So normally you hear of like those two jobs separately, like either you work in human resources and you are the point person for if staff is kind of having a problem, and if you're hiring somebody new, they like do the onboarding process, and then you usually hear of this other position of, oh, you're the finance director. So like you make sure that people like Liam and I aren't spending too much money, that we know where our money is going, that we have an idea of how much we need to spend. She does both those things. So the next, I don't have to go through all of this because all of us essentially do similar things. Everybody that's on this slide, except for Krista, the one in the middle, is a program director. So what we do is the programs that we offer, we're the ones that plan them. And we're the ones that, like, if a student was to come to a program, they'd see us. So, we in most every regard have to answer to the people that are on the prior slide. So as we start talking about the center, I want to go through and tell you, like, okay, what do we actually do? What programs do we actually offer? What are Liam and I actually running? So Liam's going to talk a little bit about after school central, which is what he and I are directly over.
Yeah, so after school central is for middle school students, so 6th through 8th grade, and we have sites in obviously Columbia City, Cherubusco, and Whitco. So essentially what the middle schoolers do and what we kind of do at the program, it's more like we teach about like life skills and a lot of character building. So we try to have the students come in. Obviously there's a whole bunch of fun games that we play, like there's a gym and they can do all the things that, you know, you would think that your local Y could do. Like we have a gym, we have basketball, pool, all the fun things that, you know, a middle schooler would want to do after school. And then we also do like character building time. So that's essentially where like we have one big like group game that we play together that kind of relates to like some sort of character trait that we think is good for, you know, everyone to have. So say it's like being responsible. So we would plan a big game around responsibility that's not too boring. Obviously we try to make everything we do fun so it can keep middle schoolers small attention spans. So we plan fun games around, say, responsibility, and then after that we would kind of break up into smaller groups and talk about, you know, how the game or the activity went and like what, you know, responsibility is and what that kind of means for us. So now this is the time where we're going to do an activity because I've been in high school and it was always boring when someone came in and just talked to you for 45 minutes and then you left. So if everyone can take out a piece of paper and a pencil, if you don't have one, ask someone else. Someone left out paper and a pencil to school.
Who needs pencils? Who needs pieces of paper?
So she doesn't.
It said Mr. Pope, Ms. Pope last.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we're gonna split into two groups. So we need 6 people over here and then 6 people over here.
Yeah. So fill up these 2 tables, which are already filled. These 2 tables, and then these 2 tables. So if you're not sitting at one of those tables, go find a seat.
I am not sitting by another person.
Mackenzie, Sam.
Okay. Now, I'm gonna explain. So I'm gonna have a timer for 30 seconds, and you guys are going to first write on your paper. If you wanna write a story or start writing a story, you can do that. Or if you wanna draw a picture, you can do that. So after 30 seconds, you will pass to the person, let me think.
Wait, cannot remind me of your name? Aiden, can I have you move up to that one so that the teams are more even? Pretty please. Yes.
Aiden, are you okay with sitting next to someone? Okay. Thank you, Aiden.
Okay.
I'm trying to think how to pass something.
Just the person behind you, and then there'd be. Oh.
We'll go like this.
Oh. Then we can just do like.
Semicircle.
Yes, you will go in like a circle within your group. So this side, over here.
You would pass
So
to
if we-
Brenton, Peyton would pass
If we
to me,
start
and I
with
would
her,
pass
we
to
go
you.
in,
Like this.
And then-
Nick,
yep,
Isaac,
just like that.
Isaac to Aiden, Aiden to Caden, Caden to Mackenzie,
Yeah.
to Nick.
This is sad.
Yeah.
So you just pass it to the person behind you. Yep.
If you're not sure,
She said.
we'll talk about it when the timer is
Yep.
up.
So think about if you want to write a story or draw a picture. Any PG appropriate school picture, please.
No violence, no weapons, or any aggression.
Can we go
Oh
now?
my
Absolutely
God,
Can we
not.
go now?
No. I can't.
Almost. And
So let me start, and then after you do that, pass it to the next person. All right.
Or you can write
I
a
will
story.
tell you when the time is up, and you will pass it. All right. Ready, set, go.
writing a story or drawing a picture for 30 seconds.
pass it to the person.
I didn't even have a picture.
That's okay. That's supposed to be what
That
happens.
is what's supposed to happen. So pass it to the person that you're supposed to. Does everyone have a new paper?
And then they're adding to it,
Yes,
right?
and you're now going to add to that paper whatever you want to add.
You're adding to the picture or the story.
Yeah. So whatever you see in front of you, add to that for 30 seconds. Go.
Smiley
Get
face
your
of
original
mine.
papers back.
That's smiley face.
What else for surprise? I'm sorry, Jason.
A bowling pin? It's
Your
Olaf.
drawing was good.
Now, everyone, look at
It's a coconut.
your pieces of paper, and does someone want to explain their drawing that they're so proud of?
Yeah. Like look.
I'm not proud of it.
Make a
You're like
coherent
a cat.
story of what you see and tell us that story. Wait, you're already going. Is somebody ready to volunteer? Yes. What's your name? Isaac?
Yeah.
Okay, Isaac. Wait, you have to show us your picture.
Wait,
Okay, wait. We're gonna hear Isaac explain the picture, the story behind it.
The story behind it is it's a person with a almond as a head,
Guys, I wanna hear.
and they got a tattoo of a smiley face on their stomach.
It's beautiful.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yes. Was it McKenna?
Yes. Mine is of people playing basketball in an airplane, going through a smiley face shaped cloud.
Yay! Wow, that one is so positive. Anyone else want to share their story? Yes.
Mine is Olaf at a Christmas party playing bowling. He's
Playing bowling.
He's playing bowling.
I love
That
it.
is so
Share yours.
bad.
Oh, I thought those were bowling
Can I
pins.
share Mackenzie's for?
Mackenzie's, if she gives you permission.
I added the
Okay, wait. I'll have you go after Aiden. All right, Aiden.
So, if anyone remembers this show called Teen Titans Go.
Yes, I love that show.
This is what this reminds me of. The weird pie lady
Yeah.
and all that bringing the.
True.
That's what that reminds me of.
Yes. Okay.
So right here we got the solar system, and then we got like this big dude,
So large.
and he just
That's the sun.
I like how his name.
yeah, that's the sun right there, and then there's this couple stars right here, and then
Well, let me
there's
see.
this guy that breaks these. I don't know.
Well, let me see.
I don't know.
I like
It
what
looks like
I
a
added
pencil
to the
rocket.
man.
It does.
The man looks a lot more put together.
And yeah, now, so now, because of the
Wow.
hat that he put on,
Mm-hmm.
That's so
he
creative.
looks like a.
Yeah, that's Andrew.
The hat he put on.
He looks
Is
like
the
a
hat
gang
too
member.
tight? Is that why he's crying?
Maybe.
That's a tattoo.
Oh.
He has
That's a tattoo.
Okay.
blood on his hand.
Perfect.
The blood is on his hand.
All right. So that's
You know, my
kind of
issue
like
is I'm a natural drawer. It's what I do, and this kind of makes me mad.
Yeah. Wait, we're gonna talk about that.
yes.
Oh,
that's
let
it.
me do mine too. Hold on.
Yours. Okay, you got
Yes.
10 seconds. Go.
So mine is like it started off as a truck, and then I don't know if it really happened after that. There's just like a pig. There's a big boom boom right here. I don't know what that is. There's a circus, so they're like doing things.
Circus doing things.
Yeah.
I love it. Truck with animals, circus doing things. Okay, so
All right, so that's kind of like one of the activities that we would do with the middle schoolers at After School Central. And then also after that, we'd kind of do like small groups. And just like Aiden was saying, we'd ask like, how did that make you feel? So, Aiden, you wanna?
I'm an artist, and this
Mhm.
picture kind of looks very, very childish to me, so it's kind of annoying.
Yeah.
yeah, so you feel annoyed.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Anyone else have any thoughts or opinions
I'm
about
very
this activity?
proud.
You're proud?
I'm very
I'm
proud of
proud
my
of
teammates in this
my
art.
person.
Isaac?
He did really good.
Wait, I'm gonna go by raise hands.
Mine kind of looks like someone from Smiling Friends.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah.
What is that?
A show.
You don't know what that is?
Yeah,
It's a funny show.
It's a show.
Sorry, everyone's seen it.
Okay, how did it impact you to see to like not see yours
I
until
know,
the
it's a
end? When you saw yours at the very end, what did you experience?
In between.
Pain.
I saw Braxton draw.
Pain.
I saw Braxton draw the pig.
Okay, so not surprised.
I was
Oh,
very
man,
excited.
That's my
Wait. I want to hear my name.
Sam.
I want to hear Sam.
I was very
It's a
excited
kite
to see
string.
what
That's
my
what I did.
Olaf had.
I turned into a kite.
Excited.
I got it
Yes.
out.
Yes.
I didn't know what to do, so I turned into a kite.
Sam, you should frame it.
Okay, so everybody. Oh yeah,
signed
Brecken.
it.
I was also excited because I just started off with like a house, so I wanted to see where anyone went with it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Can I see the picture?
So there's obviously a lot of different.
That looks
Those are
like
very
a
good.
gang house.
Yeah, at the end, I think we should just display all of the pictures up on this front table so people can see them. But anyways, people felt different things when they got their pictures back. Like Aiden was frustrated that it didn't go the way that he had intended it to. That's a personality thing. Wait, I literally just asked her. Sam was excited because she didn't really have expectations for it, and so was glad
I
to see
had
it.
mine changed to the Velociraptor I've drawn it before.
Yeah, and so in this kind of an activity, we experience teamwork having different impacts on us. Okay, so like
This is
what?
actually my different.
Hold on, one
first
second.
period.
Aiden. So what is a positive? What was a positive of having people add on to your paper?
It's not what I was gonna draw.
It's not what you're gonna draw.
Yeah.
But yeah, what's another positive?
They draw things that we might not have thought about before.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure, definitely.
Different points of view.
Right, different points of view.
I've got many colors on my paper.
Lots of colors.
They
Yes.
they put the story together.
They put the story together. Yeah. Or what were some negatives? Like if you experienced a negative, yeah.
There wasn't a lot of time.
Not a lot of time. Mm-hmm.
Mine looks like a child's.
Wait. Let's go by handed.
It's hideous.
It's hideous. Oh no, McKenna.
Some of the things people drew didn't make sense to the original drawing.
Yeah, didn't make sense. Aiden.
It looks very, very childish.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Childish. So would you say the positives for you personally outweigh the negatives, or did the negatives outweigh the positives? Raise your hand if you would say the positive outweigh the negative. So the positive was mostly what I
There's no
experienced.
negatives. This is gorgeous.
Yeah. Okay, raise
I
your
get
hand
this
if you would
tattoo
say the negatives outweigh the positive. Didn't really love that experience. Yeah. Okay, so in general, teamwork comes with positives and negatives. If you experience something like a negative emotion of like disappointment, or you were like, oh, I didn't want to, how did you cope with that feeling in that moment? Because none of you like broke down crying, and none of you like ran out of the room screaming. So like, how did you cope with the feeling of uncomfortableness? Aiden.
What I normally do is just sing a song in my head.
Yeah, sing a song in your head.
I do want to mention something about this activity. Me and my friend were just doing this during 5th period. We were taking turns of drawing an object, and eventually just drew this weird creature, and it's still sitting in Mr. Porter's room.
Yes, well, I love it. It's so
Sitting on the
different.
whiteboard.
Yes, yeah. So, as you can imagine, like think back to middle school. When you were in middle school, interacting with people was probably even more uncomfortable than it is now. And we try to have our middle schoolers interact with each other in a way that is healthy, but sometimes we have to do an activity like this. And if a middle schooler was like, I'm so angry, then we can talk about, okay, like, why are you so angry? Like, are there, yes, like it's not always comfortable to have somebody add on to something that you're working on without asking their permission, but is there good that came out of it? And we kind of try to have those conversations together. Sorry.
Well, you did.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
All right, so that's kind of after school central. We also help out with homework. We do like just fun games too, because a lot of times if you just go home after school in middle school, you're just gonna be stuck at home because you can't drive unless you have a guardian that isn't working. You know what I mean? So we try to have programming
that's how
that
my
is like,
daily life is.
yeah, and we try to have programming be a very safe space. So like no bullying. If there's hard things that are going on, then like we address it. Also, it's a little distracting. Sorry, I'm a little ADHD. Okay. The next program that we're gonna talk about, Summer Central. So, what I just talked about is for middle schoolers. Over the summer, we hang out still, but it's not as structured. So if you like, think back to you in middle school. What did you do in the summer? Like, was your summer mostly just kind of chilling at home, or was it like getting out and doing things outside? Doing things outside, at home. Yeah. Yeah. So a lot of students that come, their guardians work during the day, and so summer is like, I want to go do like fun summer things, but I can't because I'm stuck at home. And so we have like a transportation system. We'll pick kids up. One of our staff has a pond on their private property, and so we all go hang out there. It's a pretty large pond. It's pretty casual, but the goal is to be able to have, again, a safe space for teens to come and hang out in the summer, get them outside, because it's boring to be stuck inside all summer long.
It is.
It is. I'm a summer girly. I like to be outside.
Swimming, but my pool's always dirty.
Yeah. I hate cleaning things. Okay, adventure trips. Have any of you been on a trip where you were hiking before? Raise your hand.
Actually,
Okay, how many of you have been on a trip before where you did whitewater rafting? Okay, how many of you have been on a trip where you did a high ropes course?
A what?
A high ropes course. That's when like you're like strapped in and you're like really high and you're like walking across these things.
Oh yeah.
glass bridge. It was
Yep.
scary.
Yeah.
The most scariest thing I've ever seen.
How many of you have been on a trip and you went caving? That's like crawling through caves.
Mm-hmm.
Wait.
You know, I actually, that's all my family does during the summer is we go places.
That's
been,
so cool. So that's kind of like what we do.
That's what
So for the adventure trips, this is specifically for high schoolers. We get a grant. So again, like a very specific amount of money from a very specific entity that tells us specifically what to do with that money. And it is to take teenagers on an adventuring trip, experiencing the outdoors in ways that maybe they normally won't. Do we have mountains in Indiana?
No, we
No.
had to go. We had to go. We had to go.
Right.
Past Michigan.
You have to go, yeah. So we usually take students somewhere where there is mountains. Sometimes it's along the Appalachian Trail, sometimes it is not. But the purpose of this is, okay, let's get outside together. Let's do something that's kind of uncomfortable. So when we went caving, I had some students that were very, claustrophobic and like anxiety when in tight spaces. And we would be crawling through it and they would be like, oh my gosh, Kylie, like I'm freaking out. And I'd be like, it's okay, we'll get through this, breathe with me, let's sing some Disney songs. And I was just singing these Disney songs and we were singing it all together. And then at the end, they were like, oh my gosh, I just did that. And I was like, how did you get through it? And they're like, well, when you started singing, I just was kind of thinking about the singing. So the goal is to like do uncomfortable things, but then to realize that like you can get through that with the support of peers and with positive self-talk. And so most like rewarding things in life are also really, really difficult. And it's very important to learn how to lean on other people in those scenarios. And that's what we try to do for the adventure trips. And it's just like really fun. So, Aiden, real quick.
I did, my mud caving was actually more claustrophobic and more dangerous because I went mud caving where it's just surrounded by.
Wow, yeah, the middle picture is us. You can't really see it very well because that might have been before we went in the cave. We were like covered with dust. We did like one of those slow motion videos and we were like everywhere. And then like we watched a slow motion video and it's like, there's this like cloud of dust coming off. But anyways, okay, so super fun, but the purpose is to endure difficult things together and get through it together. Oh, there's the picture. Look at our very own. Okay, Liam's gonna talk a little bit about Serve.
Yeah, so Serve also is at every single location that we have, and it's a high school leadership program that goes on at the same time as the middle school program. So, what the high schoolers kind of do is they come, they essentially have like jobs or roles that they play in our programming, because usually me and Kylie are, leading like the main activities or whatever like the programs or the activities are for that day. So the high schoolers have like essentially mini jobs within our program that they get like ownership of and they get to like do. So one of the jobs that like our students has is that we have like a cafe system and like a money system that we hand out for middle schoolers, and they're like able to like run the cafe and hand out money. So that's just like a little part of programming that like the high schoolers can call their own. And we have like 6 or 7 jobs that the high schoolers are essentially able to like take ownership of and like do that as their own. So through this, we kind of want to teach high schoolers essentially like how to be a leader. Because I know in high school, like I definitely didn't know how to be a leader or even like what that really looked like for me. So that's also another part of me and Kylie's job is just kind of teaching high schoolers like, what does it look like to be a leader? Because usually if you have like a job in high school, you're not really like, you're just kind of doing the day-to-day stuff. You're just kind of there to make money because you need money. But usually here, like me and Kylie are like asking for your guys' feedback, because sometimes there are things that, that we miss, or you guys have like some good ideas that we haven't thought of. So we want to like give you guys the freedom to like implement cool ideas, or just like be able to have some ownership, because I know it's like super cool and like been rewarding for me to like have something that I really care about and that like I've had a part in to like see play out into life. So we had one of our high schoolers recently, like last year, who thought that it'd be cool to have like a sensory room in our building, and Kylie essentially gave her like, this is like the budget that you have to work with, and like if you can make this happen, like that'd be really cool. And now all of the middle schoolers like love the sensory room, and she was like able to have ownership in that, and like she has a little plaque in the room that has her name saying that like she created it. So it's just like a way that she was able to like really make an impact. So it's just something that's we're able to teach, and obviously like we like listen to feedback from high schoolers, because usually if you have like a job, you're like working in fast food and your boss really doesn't care about like your feedback or like what you guys have to like maybe make the organization better. They're just there because they need someone to fill the role. So we really want high schoolers to kind of take ownership, like have leadership in what they do, and like able to have a place where they're like welcomed and also want to learn and grow too. So that's kind of what serve is. Yeah.
Is there any way I actually could be able to apply for this? Do you have to be a certain age?
Yeah, I mean, unless the bell rings and then you have to go and I can get some sort of contact from
But I
the
do
teacher,
wanna-
but yeah,
I do want to
we can talk about it.
actually get a job, and I need a job, and this seems easier for me because I can't
Although
do
we don't
fast
pay.
food. That's kind of cool.
It is volunteer.
Yeah, it is volunteer. But again, this is the kind of thing that looks good on application. It also
The issue is I can't do fast food. I have a learning disability and stuff like that. I can't do.
Yeah.
And it's kind of getting hard to find an actual job that
Yeah.
pays.
Right. So I'm glad that you're in this class too, because that's equipping you with a lot of different things. So that is our high school program. I lead. So those are like the two biggest things that the center runs. I lead is a different high school program that is more so for, okay, if you want to learn how to do community service, like how to organize community projects, then if you're in iLead, you plan those community projects. You're given a budget, and then you're essentially told, okay, what do you want to do? Make it happen. And then there's just a person like Liam or I who's guiding that and making sure that you're not doing something like crazy. The next program is Ground Zero. So it is, this is a program that is like only for high schoolers, and it's Monday nights, and essentially it is like a big faith-based group. So anyone can come. We play games at the beginning. There's 9 Square. I don't know if you played that, but that is like always up. And then there's some type of like big group activity that is usually just some kind of like fun
You guys are next to the
gym
old home
game.
center, right?
And then after that, there's some kind of discussion, like somebody will share either a testimony of their own life of like, okay, what I have learned in scripture, this has helped me, or this is where I used to be in life, and this is where I got to a better place, a healthier place. Or sometimes it's just talking about different topics that scripture brings up. So it is faith-based. After that big kind of like presenting group structure, then we break off into small groups and talk about like, okay, how does this impact me? How does it apply to me? Does it apply to me? So kind of it's almost, it's not a support group, but it's very much so like able to talk about how it impacts you and not just have to passively like sit through something. So that is weekly, Monday nights, high school program. A couple other things that the center does is life coaching. So, how many of you are familiar with Eagle Connect Academy, ECA, over at the middle
I
school?
was over there, actually. That's
Yeah.
where I met Miss Hope.
Yes, yeah. So life coaching, that is where we have life coaching going on this year. But life coaching is essentially like, I'll sit down with somebody, we talk about where do you want to be in life at the end of this semester, okay? How do we get there? I help you think through how do we like chunk it out? How do we break it down? Okay, well then what are we gonna do literally tomorrow? What are we gonna do literally the next day? And then meeting on a weekly basis to say, okay, we made this plan, like did you follow through with it? And it's always student led. So I'm not telling you this is what you need to do. It's us brainstorming, oh, I think this would be good for me to do. And then I say, okay, well then what does that look like? Like what do you have to do tonight? Like where? I'm just helping clarify. So life coaching is kind of just a little bit of guidance for if you're feeling overwhelmed in how to make decisions and how to get to where you want to be. I just help guide through it. So we have a couple different life coaches on staff. And then mentoring interactions. If, let's say, you got in trouble with law enforcement and had to go through teen court or maybe actual court system, and you had some sort of like sentence, okay, like a requirement, things that you had to fulfill in order to have that removed from your record or whatever it might be. Sometimes you can have on your, like what you have to fulfill, meeting with a mentor. mentor sessions. So people on staff at the center, we can be those mentors, and essentially it's just sitting down, hanging out, talking about like, okay, like what brought you here? Like, do you need support in some way? So pretty simple and straightforward, but that is also something that our organization offers. Last program, LifeWise.
Yeah, so LifeWise is one of our newer programs that we have at the center. It's for K to 6 graders, and it's essentially like a Bible teaching story time. So during the school day, actually, there's buses that come and like can pick students up from school and take them to like an off-site place. So we have some at the center and some other local places in the area. It kind of depends on what school system it is, but it's essentially they talk about like just life today and how that fits through like the biblical stories and like the biblical lens that they would do, and then that's kind of what LifeWise is.
Yeah. So that if you work at a nonprofit, every nonprofit is different. Ours, I do a lot of the different things that I shared about. Liam does a couple of different things. So it looks like a pretty diverse role. Like, and usually if you're going into working with people, it's not super straightforward, but a lot of you share things that perhaps might be a little bit more straightforward. But anyways, yeah, that is us. That is what we do. That is how we operate. How much time do we have?
What time is it?
2:27.
3 minutes.
3 plus 6 minutes.
Okay.
6 minutes.
Okay. Oh, I clicked on one more thing. Yes. Oh, yeah. Okay. Can you think of any random question that you want to ask Liam or I? It could be about like where we were at in high school, how we got to here. It can be any specific question about any of the programs, what it's like to work, and like a social work type job.
Here's my contact info.
Oh, great. Okay. Any question that you can think of. Or a question for Nick, since he was involved with the center a little bit.
Okay.
Nick was great.
Is he with you guys? Old name, is he with you guys?
Oh, he's recording.
Works for break.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yes, Brendan.
Okay, that makes more sense.
Has Jake always been the director of something?
No. So Jake was specifically over Ground Zero
Yeah, he
and
used to do what Tim
Ivy.
used to do.
Yes, and then his role shifted a little bit.
But he also did the mentoring on the side, didn't he?
Mhm.
Because he mentored.
Yeah.
He still does some of that stuff.
Yeah.
He still does mentoring?
Yeah, depends
A little
on
bit.
how much time he has.
Mentored me a little bit.
So yeah, and I mean like that's where things at the center are pretty flexible because we see where there's a need and then our staff strives to meet that. So it's not super rigid, like, so he's still doing some of that, but mostly is donor. Yeah.
When did you guys join?
Like specifically, when did I start working at the center?
Both of you.
Me was 2.5 years ago,
I started in August.
so he's a newbie, but doing pretty well.
I'll probably be the new him.
Huh?
I'll probably be the new him.
Yeah. Okay. Any other questions you can think of?
How long? Do you know how long Miss Pope worked there? I didn't know she worked there.
I think like over 7 years. I think it was a long time. I mean, she was like one of the people that helped get it
she helped
going and
most
stuff.
of
She
the
did
stuff,
like the
yeah.
mentoring and stuff, didn't she?
Yeah, her only like.
She worked with the alternative school.
Yeah.
I only know her because Mr. Pope and then going over there.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then Mr. Pope used to throw the ball at my face.
Yeah.
I remember
Jim's great.
almost catching the giant kick and instead breaking my nose.
It broke your nose? Oh my gosh, that's crazy. I'm gonna have to tell Jim. So Jim and Krista, well, the Popes are actually my aunt and uncle. Yes. Okay, we'll share really quick a couple high school, like post high school tips. First, I want to hear like rapid fire. Tell me something that you're planning to do after you graduate. Like, what's a baby step for getting to whatever's after high school for you?
AIT.
What?
AIT. Nothing.
Oh, gotcha. Yes.
Well, since I am probably graduating early next year, I'll probably have to invest in an apartment first.
Yes, apartment.
Yeah.
Any other baby step you can think of post graduation? School?
Yeah.
Whatever comes next. Probably take some research looking in where you want to go. Yeah, Sam.
At my job, I'm a manager at Dairy Queen.
Get it,
And,
okay.
after graduation, I'm going through a lot of training to hopefully become one of the
My graduation
new,
parties.
to get into a different job.
Yeah.
I'm still a manager, but working in the little area that I do.
Yeah. Oh, those sound like great things. My biggest, like, if you want to succeed, do this tip is find somebody who's doing what you want to do and ask them how they got there. That is like gonna save you so much headache and so much trial and error, wasted time. It does take intentionality of finding someone who's
Pardon the
where you want to be.
interruption. When the bell rings, will the varsity and junior varsity cheerleaders please make your way to the main office? Thank you.
It does take initiative to find somebody who's in a spot that you want to be, and then it kind of takes the risk of like asking them, hey, how did you get there? But if you do that, I promise you the road will be smoother. I guess I can't promise, but I'm like 90% sure the road will be smoother, and it was for me. 100%.
Mine's kind of like Kylie's, but just try to build good connections and keep good relationships with like the people that you have in your life that are important. So like even if you don't like any of your teachers, still have good relationships with them because like they're here and they care about you, and that's probably the reason they're here because they could be doing something else that is probably a lot easier. So I would just make sure you invest in important relationships because those people do honestly want to help you guys.
And even if that connection doesn't seem like it matters now, honestly, if you burn a bridge now and you want it later, you can't do anything about it, right? So
Just be
don't
nice.
burn bridges. Okay.
Thank you,
All right.
guys.
That's everything we had. Yeah. You guys were fun. I hope that whatever you do after high school is like absolutely what you want.
You guys.